Hi everyone, welcome again to another Teacher Joseph video clip. Today I want to tell you all about the word focus. Now, to focus on something means to really give it all of your concentration. When you're trying to learn English alone, English is too big to give all of it your concentration. You need to break it down into little bits. Get a pen and a piece of paper, and I want you to write down 12 things that you do every day. You can use words like family, friends. Maybe at work you're on the phone all the time, so you can use the word communication. If you like to read every day, you can also write down reading. Now, when you have these 12 words, I want you to think about how they relate to your learning English. Because when you bring things which you have a focus on, things which you're interested in, then learning becomes much easier. For me, I love audio. I love radio. When I'm alone, you'll find me with a radio and I'll be turning the buttons and pressing them. I'm happy. That's my thing. So when I'm learning other languages, immediately I want to find other people who are like me. I want to find Spanish speakers who love radio and love touching the dials and all the things about radio. When I go to Spain, I love visiting radio stations to see the microphones, and it just gets me so excited. The problem with learning English is it's too big. It's huge. It's a massive topic. And therefore, you need to bring it to your ideas and match it, put it together with your passions. Now, I know some of you are learning English because you want to work abroad, but that's never going to be enough for you to learn. Once you've identified your passions, the things that you love to do, it's so much easier to learn because that's where your focus is. We all need focus. And as well as needing focus, we all need to guard our passions. Let me just explain. So a few weeks ago, I had a Spanish lesson online, and the teacher loved football. That's his thing, okay? That's his passion. It's not my passion, it's his. And he said, "Did you see the match last night?" And I'm thinking, match? No. What do you mean match? He said, the football. And I said, no, it's just, no, it's not my thing. But he didn't hear my hesitancy. He didn't hear when I was trying to tell him that I'm not interested. And he was talking in English when he should have been talking to me in Spanish. And he spent 10 minutes. Oh, but it was a great match, and then this person scored the goal, and it was so great and everything. And I'm just sitting there looking at him thinking, well, that's great for you. I'm really happy. When are we going to get back to Spanish and my lesson? Thank you very much. If he was talking in Spanish, it would have been fine because I'm learning Spanish. Anything in Spanish is good, but not something I'm not really interested in. And also, he shouldn't have been talking to me in English during that lesson because I was there to learn Spanish. So my point is this: once you've identified your passions, the things that you're interested in, take them to a teacher. The teacher doesn't need to share your passion, but the teacher should have created a space for you to explore those things. The teacher can give you advice on how you spoke about them. The teacher can ask you why you're so passionate about it, and he can check the words with you. All you need is a teacher who opens that space for you to talk. Now, if the teacher comes and he's full of football, for example, and he's not even talking in the language that you're learning, then there's a problem. If it's your friend and it's only for a few minutes, that's fine. There's no difficulty. But if he's dominating the class with his thing, then your passions are being taken and your energy is being taken. So you need to bring the conversation back to the thing that you want to explore. Remember, you're paying the money for these English lessons, and you have a right to say where you want them to go. If a lesson is completely in the language you're learning, in English, there's no big problem because it's good practice for you. And we all need to practice the language that we're learning. Unfortunately, though, especially in online lessons, because they're so informal, conversations can sometimes take up too much time, especially if they're not about new things and about things that you want to talk about. Before your English lesson the next time, I want you to write down 12 things that you love, or 12 things that you simply do. If you don't know what you're passionate about, just write down things you do every day. If you talk, for example, to customers on the telephone every day, you can write down communication. If you have a particular magazine that you read every day, you can read reading. You can write reading. If you perhaps have something else that you just love every day, write it down. Just write down the word. Yeah? When you have around 12 words, think about how you can bring those words to an English lesson. What kind of things can you talk about? For example, if one of your words is cooking and you love food, then create an English lesson about food. Ask your English teacher to help you with that. Design your own lessons. If you're studying alone, you need to be designing your own lessons, because if you don't, a teacher is going to come along and say, well, weather's nice today. Let's talk about little animals. Maybe you hate animals. Maybe you work as a butcher. Who knows? Okay? But the point is this. You need to be taking responsibility for where you want to get to. Now, the good thing about online lessons is if you use them properly, you can jump very quickly, because there's only you and the teacher. There's only both of you. So that means these lessons can be designed for exactly where you're trying to get to. The problem, though, is if you don't tell the teacher where you're going, or if you don't know where you're going, then the teacher is going to have his own agenda. Okay, he's going to have his own thing that he thinks you need. For example, let's talk about the moon, yeah, as an example, okay? Now, you're studying for an IELTS exam, okay? You're hoping to get to the UK to work, and the teacher says, okay, today we're going to talk about the moon. And you're thinking, well, yeah, okay, I don't know much vocabulary about the moon, so I suppose it's going to help me. But a better use of that lesson, if you tell the teacher you're doing an IELTS exam, you want to practice for it, you want phrases related to it, you want vocabulary for it, you want to practice storytelling for it, that's a much better use, isn't it? So again, we're back to this word, focus. English is too big to be trying to learn everything. So we need to narrow it down to the things that you're interested in. If that's business English, fine. If that's cooking for the kids, fine. As I told you, with me and English, it's radio. You ask me something about radio, I'll tell you all about the different bands, AM, FM, shortwave. These are words that many English native speakers don't know. I know them because I'm passionate about radio. Maybe for you, you want to learn these words in a second language about your passions so that you can show the world your passion in a second language. That's all fine. That's a really great place to start. If you don't do that, if you just come to an English lesson and you say, okay, teach me something, it's too wide. You might become an expert at saying, hello, how are you? My name is Joseph. It's nice to meet you. But you won't remember anything else because it's not focused. You see this picture behind me? Last year, I was really focused on art. I really loved the colors. I love bright colors because the weather here is a little bit dark. If I wasn't focused on color, that picture may have been darker, but I wanted to make something brighter. That's what gave me this picture. That's what created it, my idea. So, what's your idea of learning English? Why are you doing it? And how can a teacher like me help you to get to that place? If you're learning English just as a hobby, without any kind of business idea, that's also fine. But it still needs to be a little bit guided. Do you want me to talk about radio? Of course not. You want me to help you talk about the things that you like. You see, in one-to-one lessons, you can guide yourself, you can shape these lessons into whatever you want. You're paying for them. These lessons can become your future and they can help you to get there. It doesn't matter if you want to bake a cake for your English husband and you want to use an English recipe, or whether you want to get an English job and earn lots of cash. The fact remains, once you have that idea, you tell the teacher so he can help you get to that place. Remember, if you don't tell the teacher in the first place what you want, in the second moment, he will tell you what he wants because the time is passing. So you need to take responsibility. You need to have a very clear idea of where you're going, and you need to guard that. So if the teacher comes starts talking in your own native language, you can say, wait a minute, I'm paying you. You should be helping me. Now, of course, if you don't do any homework, if you have no vision, if you have no idea what you're doing, then that will be reflected in the English class. If you don't show the teacher anything, then of course the class isn't really going to be very worthwhile. So instead of saying, oh, I don't like that teacher's okay, but oh no, you need to begin to think, well, what am I bringing? What am I showing the teacher here about what I want? Otherwise, it's a waste. And you know what else? If you really, really don't know what you're looking for in an English class, ask the teacher to help you. Ask him to ask you questions like a job interview to identify exactly where you're going. You see, this is the great thing about online learning. It's all about you and where you want to get to. Now, when you book an English class in a school, normally you just go to the course, you open the book, you study, you finish. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you're learning English to become an astronaut. Nobody cares if you want to move to the UK. It's really sad, but they want the money, baby. That's what they're looking for. But in a one-to-one class, it's a bit different because you have a mentor. You have someone who really shares your passion, or at least can understand what you're looking for. That makes online learning special. But remember, there's also that dark side. If you're just using online learning for grammar and to learn grammar, that's fine, if that's all you need. But get the best out of it. Don't just sit there and say, yeah, conditionals. Give me an example of a quantifier, please. Yeah, Use it. Bring it alive. Become the best person that you can. And that would be a better use of an hour, I think. So today's word really is focus. Be the person that you want to be. As we say in the UK, be the change. That's it from me. I hope you found this helpful. Remember, a piece of paper, 12 words. If you really don't know what to do with them, if you don't know how to guide yourself into a lesson, ask the teacher to help you. But don't just sit there doing nothing, because in the end, you'll be stressed, you'll be bored, and you probably won't remember anything. So, there we are. See you soon. Bye.